Now, I don't really like to put my guest on the spot, but there's something that you said, and the reason why I'm asking is because you said it twice.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's confirmation. He means it. Let me ask him. Because the last time you pretty much went viral here was when you talked about Steve Harvey.
Right.
Okay. That was hilarious.
Yeah, yes.
But Lonzo brings up Greg Mack from Kday.
Oh,
and then you
Greg
said,
Mack.
fuck that dude.
Fuck that dude, yeah.
And then Lonzo kind of chuckles, and then you said, I can say that. Fuck that dude.
I can.
Can you give us the story behind that, if you will?
You know, he tried to hustle me some years back. You know, he knew we were getting into radio and stuff like that by what we were doing over at The Beat with the Soul Assassins show. Not the Soul Assassins radio you hear on Sirius XM, but the original one that Bobo and I started, right? So he started talking about, oh man, I got these people, and I don't know if it was Sacramento or Vegas. It was one of the two. And he goes, oh man, I want you to come up and meet these guys and this, that, and the other. I'm gonna fly you out and blah, blah, blah. And I had a fucking crazy schedule at that time too. So I was like, look, I could come out there and meet with your people and, you know, see what we could work out, but I gotta get back tonight. Like, I need you to get me back tonight. Like, I'll go out there, but I need to get back tonight. And because I got a meeting the next day and I cannot fuck it off and be late for it. So he, yeahs me to death, right? So I get out there, and turns out he wanted me to do like 3 fucking songs, put me on the spot in front of all these fucking people to do these 3 songs. So I didn't want to be that guy, so I said, fuck it, I'm going to do the 3 songs, and then I'm going to get the fuck right out of here. And most likely not going to fuck with this guy, because that's all this was about. Didn't talk to no radio people or any other people that he claimed that we were going to talk to. Got me to go do the 3 songs, right? So I was like, okay, time to get me the fuck out of here. Oh man, the last plane was at this time. We're going to have to fly you tomorrow.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it was one of those fucking things where, he basically told me a bullshit story and then lied to me about getting me back the day of. So after that, I just was like, fuck that dude. I'll never do shit for this motherfucker again. And I did it out of respect for him because what he had done at Kday. But I had already heard stories about him and how he was with people and shit like that. So I was kind of like feeling it out. And I got an ugly feeling before I fucking jumped on that plane, and I should have listened to it. And that from then on, I told myself I'll never go against a feeling like that again. So I get out there and all that shit happens, and I was like, this motherfucker, he set me up to come play these songs, didn't pay me for them. And there was no opportunity for a fucking radio show on any Sacramento station. Yes. So he got those 3 songs out of me, and that's all he ever got, right? Because here's the thing. It'd be one thing, right, if Cypress Hill came at the time when Kday was still popping and they had a hand in blowing us up. Problem is, Kday was gone by the time Cypress Hill came up. They didn't do shit for us because they couldn't. He could not do shit for us because he couldn't. So he couldn't lay claim on us the way he could other people. Like, hey, Mixmaster Show blew you guys up. It made you, no one would have known had we not played you on the Mixmaster. It had Tony G and all these guys, and that was my shit. He claimed it as his when it was someone else's idea, right? So I didn't feel any obligation to my dude to like praise him as the guy at Kate. I already know he's a fuck face. A fuck face.
He said that loud and clear. He said it loud for the people in the back.
Yeah, so whenever I see him, it's like very short, or he does not come near me.
Wow.
Because he pissed me off, and I'm over it now. But talking about it, it re-stirs that shit up, because I already felt weird about the motherfucker in the first place, and it just validated what I thought.
About 2 years ago, somebody contacted me that he was throwing a party, and he said, hey man, I would really love to have you on. What he was trying to get me to show up and not pay me to spin.
Yeah.
Okay. I never seen you DJ, bro, but why don't you come through, drop a set? And I was like, I don't DJ for free, bro. Like, I don't think, oh, just come through. I'll put you on the flyer. I'm good, bro.
No,
I'm good. So I never, the last thing he tried to do was like, do it for the culture. In other words, do it for free.
Yeah, do it for free. For me.
Yeah, for me.
It's not for the culture, it's for him. And that's what I learned. That was my lesson in fucking with Greg Mack. So like, I never again, you know, I forgive him.
Right.
As a Christian man, as a spiritual man, as a man of faith, I forgive this motherfucker, but I'll never fuck with him again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the other people can praise him because, you know, they feel that he was a part of their careers in terms of springboarding shit.
Yes.
And I respect that.
Right.
But to me, he's a fuck face. Sorry, Greg.
All good. Now, Lonzo, that one was so good for me. I listened to it about 3 times. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just laughing,
Lonzo
bro.
was real than a motherfucker, I'll tell you.
Yes. I called him up the next day and I go, "What's up, Lonzo?" And he said something like, "I'm just hanging like a chandelier trying to shine."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, Lonzo, all good, man." The next one that stood out to me was the Sugar Free.
Yeah.
Okay, Sugar Free he did our interview about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And he went to my boy's restaurant. He already came drinking Bud Light, okay? And he had some Hennessy, and he got lit, and he just let loose. We're about to hit 100,000 with his interview. So about 1.5 years, he'll going to be the highest. I mean, we've had clips that we've made that hit like 1 million, 500,000, but actual full interview, he's about to hit still 100,000 views. And he says some shit on there, man, that like, I call him the great philosopher Sugar Free.
He is.
You know, he said this one thing. I don't know if you heard it. He said, "A motherfucker has the same amount of time in a day as Michael Jackson, but still chose to be nobody."
Yeah. Think about that.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing when people ask me, man, like, what do you do with your time? I always try to stay productive. Sometimes I'm overly busy because I make myself busy on purpose.
Right.
But one thing that I do every day, I get up, get my grandbabies ready. That's my thing. Walk them to school, come back, wash some clothes, go hit the gym, and after that, either editing, music, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, watching Dr. Green Thumb.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm able to talk about it. So Sugar Free was hilarious. What is one thing that you can say you took away from that interview, if you could remember?
You know, there was a couple things, and what he said was some real shit in many instances. One was, you know, hold on to your ideas. Like, you can manifest them to yourself, right? Yeah. But don't say it out loud.
I remember that quote.
Because motherfuckers be ear hustling. And if they're quicker to the punch than you, they're going to fucking take your idea and fucking run with it.
It's true.
So, you know, like to any artist out there, you know, like creating something from the nucleus and all that shit. And let's just say you haven't done it yet, but you haven't mapped out like the journey you want to take in making this art or whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Don't tell people what that map is until you've already fucking done it, and then let them fucking hear it after the fact, because you know, motherfuckers be taking ideas left and right these days. So that was a good gem he dropped. And the fact that he was giving the flowers to DJ Quick as the genius that Quick is, you know, their chemistry and connection, you know, I could see that his eyes lit up talking about Quick.
Yeah.
You know, and that's awesome to see when you see another artist excited about another artist. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was kind of cool.
Yeah. You know, the reason why I when you brought that part up, I want to elaborate on what he said about keeping an idea to yourself. I had to learn it the hard way, because there's been times that in the past I've showed people beats. Because I like to produce, okay?
Yeah.
And sometimes I like to think that these guys are my friends and they wouldn't do this shit to me. So I would tell them, hey man, check this out. I flipped this. Oh, okay, cool. I'll go to another guy's house. Hey man, tell me what you think. I try to keep it within 2 people.
Right.
Okay. About a month later, one guy had one similar to mine, and the other guy had very similar to mine, and I just straight called them out on that.
You already knew, yeah.
I'm like, hey bro, that's my shit right there, bro. And here's what the new word is when somebody bites your shit. Well, you inspired me. The other guy, you motivated me.
Hiding behind the words, you know, semantics. You know, you inspired me. You motivated me. You motivated a motherfucker enough to make the same beat as you do.
Yeah.